Sup, Austin? Is PalWorld worth coming back to? Let me know. What is it? Is it good? Sakurajima? I actually myself kind of quit playing after like the hype train died out, you know? So I am curious. This one looks nice, and the that new trainer looks very nice. Capture her, right? Bring her to the base. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch this. Original will be down in the description. Alright, let's get it.
Hi, I'm Austin John of the YouTube channel Austin John Gaming,
Hi,
where
Austin.
I cover gaming stuff. And you might say, why are you so dressed up?
My name is
great
Rem.
news. I was given exclusive access to the PalWorld Sakurajima update, and I want to share some impressions and answer your questions about this update. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the new features, new areas, new pals, but in no way, shape, or form am I going to be really spoiling anything special.
I don't mind the spoil.
First things first, there is a brand new island that you can explore and experience, and it's just integrated nicely into the base game. It's just a short trip north of the Forgotten Island, and while in size it's much smaller to something like the Arctic
it's all the way over there.
Down here, it's significantly more robust in its distinct
so it's in
biomes.
between the winter and the lava
frozen
place.
Mountain at the top. There's nothing to do here. It's so boring. It's just walk around, get some eggs,
get materials,
far too
leave.
large of an
That's
experience.
it. That's all that place is.
This area is much smaller. There's a lot more detail and sub-biomes packed into it, and I really
I think they condensed it. That's why. It's the same amount of stuff, but they condensed the map.
World that is heavily inspired by traditional areas in
That
Japan,
looks so
such
beautiful.
As
Look at the
Most
ray
notably,
tracing.
as seen in the trailers, is this beautiful cherry blossom tree area, which is right by where the new boss battle is, the new PAL tower that you're going to be fighting. In the middle of the island has just sort of a very generic grass area.
You mean the usual grass area that doesn't look any different? Mushrooms.
And very different from anything that
I remember my partner talking about the mushrooms.
Shacks that are going to be hiding treasure chests for you to find.
She was like, I want to see the mushrooms.
That one had pizza. Chests sort of had like, I feel like a little bit of an overhaul. And especially in this area,
I still haven't gotten
so
that, pal.
Worth it. You're also going to be finding a container that functions similar to a chest, which is this debris pile. And you're going to be finding this all over the world, not just on the new island. And if you'll go ahead and inspect this, you're going to be getting coins.
What's with the trash pile, man?
Called dog coins. I'll talk about that later on.
What those Doge coins do.
Finding level appropriate items, food, pizza, crafting materials. I found circuit boards. Like, you're going to be finding some actual helpful things. Oh, and here's one of the new pals that was teased in the trailer. Crocajiro.
So, frog.
He is
frogs
friend.
with wands.
I also
Magic
have my settings
frogs.
up right now, that way I could be a little bit more talky and a little less. I'm worried that I'm going to die all the time. On the northern area of the island is going to be a whole large desert-like area where you are going to be finding a bunch of new pals, including this little fun guy over here called Prickster. Yeah, He's a bipedal scorpion guy who is a dark ground. You're going to be seeing Helzifer Luxes flying all over the place. A Terra variant of Goron.
I don't really like flying enemies too much.
A brand new pal called Kickit, who's just this adorable little ground type. Nothing really too, dangerous or
Can we actually kick it, though?
But he is a cutie pie.
I want one. Kind of look.
Check this out.
You know what? That one actually looks like
a new pal
an actual Pokemon.
Of a mimic.
I don't remember its name though. It looks like an armadillo.
If you have trouble catching Meemog because they are extremely fast and they run away, use a rocket launcher. Because for whatever reason they don't run away after that.
Why not just build around it?
Try to catch him.
Build a 1x1. Can't you just build a 1x1?
While you're on the screen, you can now see that you have a number.
Stand on top of it and just like aim down.
Which is a pretty neat thing. Oh, see what I mean by he's fast. Sometimes he runs to the ocean and despawns. Like that.
Yeah, just build a box around him. A box around the box to capture the box.
A personal new favorite part of the island is the southern sandbar, which just feels like a nice little desert area. Let's talk about levels. From the second that you boot up the update, you're going to be seeing that the tech tree has a lot of additions.
What's here?
Also, if you have not played since launch, there's a bunch of additions in here, such as at level 15, you get access to an ore mining site.
I already know that one.
No longer has to be on top of one of the scarce resources of iron throughout the world. You just build this in the same way that you can mine up stone And wood, you can mine up ore.
I want stuff
The Ring
about
of
this
Mercy,
update,
which
not
makes it so any
not the
player
stuff
damage,
like
such as assault
beforehand.
rifles or bows and arrows or whatever, you're never going to be damaging a PAL below 1. Think of this as your
Another old
false
thing.
swipe. However, you should know that that does not stay true for PAL damage. PALs will damage wild PALs below 1. There's a new item called the lock picking tool, which makes it so that if you don't have a key, you can just pick a lock. And if you're familiar with any lock picking minigame in any game prior,
That's
like
weird.
Bethesda games,
I don't remember anything having to be lock
It
picked.
can't be much different.
That must be
It's
only.
lockpicking. There's
That
also
must
a
have
new
been in
item
this
called the
update.
Homeward Thundercloud, which transports you to the nearest base. Cannot be used in dungeons and other similar locations.
Wait, why
And
would
now
I
with
use
the
that?
update, we have
Can't
from
you just
level
teleport?
50 to 55,
Oh, no,
which
you have to be
includes
next to a
items like the
teleporter to
crude
teleport.
Oil extractor, which allows you to make plasteel, which is required for plasteel armor. The
Oh,
brand new sphere
damn, look
called
at that
the Ultimate
armor.
Sphere, the hyper glider, new weapons such as the flamethrower, the laser rifle, the grenade
laser
launcher. There's a
rifle.
bunch of stuff
Oh.
to play around with. And you're also going to be seeing over here a sulfur mine and a coal mine in the same way that
Sulfur
you have an iron
mine.
ore. There's
That's
also
for
a
ammo
variety
and stuff,
of other
right?
items down here,
Anything
such
that has
as
to do with
PAL
electricity.
disassembly conveyor. Now you don't need to manually go around with a hatchet. You can just use this, and it does exactly what you think it does.
Dismantles
I wanna
the
say that
PAL.
the crude oil.
So
is
does it
so
show?
power-hungry.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's so unhinged. I love it.
PALs working, and either I'm not doing right. I'm not doing.
Can I
this right, or it's not
dismantle the
working right, or
trainers?
something is going on, but it is not efficient for you to go ahead and mine this up. I also need to unlock the new power generator. Because this,
Yeah, that's
this
not
isn't
working.
cutting it. Also, another fantastic item is the cold food box.
Refrigerated
which,
food, I guess.
just as you'd imagine, it's a food box and it's a refrigerator in one.
That's
Let's go ahead
good.
and talk about base updates.
That's nice.
Defensive walls that you have, their building rules
I have to play
have
this again,
been
probably.
very,
Even
very
just for a
loosened.
little bit.
So now you're going
It's
to be
looking
able to
pretty
build
nice.
them a lot easier, either higher off of the ground or deeper into the ground. After one is already crafted, you're going to notice that it snaps to the middle, and using my mouse wheel, I get a lot of degrees of variance. So building these guys.
I'm not gonna
in a
play this
circle
alone though. If
perimeter
I do
is
play this,
easier
I'm
than
gonna
ever
I'm gonna
before.
drag my partner
Or
along.
if for whatever reason you want it loose-handed, you're going to notice that you have a lot of overlap, which
Because
makes
I've been
putting
playing
down
it
the
with
gate
her
for me
since
very
it came
easy,
out.
and it blends pretty darn well into the gate. I'm definitely not mad at that. A
I bought
feature
her the
wanna
game and I
talk
was like,
about
"Please
that,
play
to
it
be
with
honest,
me."
I don't know if it was in a previous update or this one, is chest settings, which make it so that only the specific items that you want to go inside of a chest will be put inside of a chest.
That's good. That's
If
the
I
good
want
stuff
only
right there.
PAL materials,
That's
production
the
goods,
good
and
stuff.
other materials to be inside
That's
of the chest.
good.
That's the only thing that is in here, and if I go to put something that isn't those things, it will not go in there.
That's
Dragging
good.
this megasphere
Especially
cannot
for
go
my
in there.
pals.
GG easy. Super easy way for you to
GG
just
easy.
come
Get
back to base.
dunked on.
Make sure that everything is exactly where you need it to be, and you're not going to accidentally put something in the wrong place. I'm also kind of in the idea of, well, can I just take out these items and throw them on the floor, and then my pals are going to figure out where they go and where they belong? Yep, you're going to see these Anubis running around and putting them in the right place. Right, guys? Yeah. Various things around your camp in order to make items such as electric furnaces. You're now going to see an option which is allow transport by
Oh,
pals.
so that's the next one, huh?
Once
The
one
plasteel's
item
the
is
next,
done being
for
made,
sure.
one of your pals with the transport ability is going to go around, find the closest chest that does accept that item, and then go ahead and put it in there.
Really?
And the thing I didn't talk about that I should have talked about is that means that your refrigerator can now be only for ingredients, and that means that your food box and your refrigerated food box from the new update can be only for cooked foods. So now your pals are no longer going to be eating raw food and getting that debuff and that constant mood depression. Instead, only the cooked food
I mean, that sounds pretty
then tell
obvious.
them to bring on over and put inside of that chest is going to go there. So don't tell them to bring cake out, but do tell them to bring your jellied toast out.
Oh, people also wanted to know about
save the
building
cake to
system.
breed.
There's a brand new building system based off of glass.
Do you guys still do the breed
which
system?
is
That thing's kind of
essentially
dumb for me,
just
to
rock
be
and
honest.
PAL
I don't do it.
fragments, which is, you know, refined rock. So
That's sick.
yeah,
I like that.
very cool visual effect on these guys. Maybe accent pieces
Oh
here
my
and there.
goodness.
don't
I
think
wanna
would
make my
build
whole
an
floor
entire
like
base
that.
out
It's
of
gonna
it.
look like
You're also
water.
gonna notice around my camp we have this guy, which is the
Yo,
PAL
sick.
dressing facility, which basically is if you have a certain type of PAL and you have a skin for them,
Nice.
such as the Sunclass's Catava, you can then assign any and all of your Kadavas to have sunglasses.
That is
Time of
awesome.
launch, it's only going to be the sunglasses, the deal with it, Kadava. Later on, they say they're going to be adding more, so that's neat. Last notes as far as bases.
I mean, people
One,
already
PAL
mod the
box
game,
management.
so
they have doubled the amount of pals that you can have.
if they do it, they
inside of your
gotta
base
like
with now 32
they gotta put a
boxes.
lot.
They've increased the starting amount of bases that each player / guild can have from 3 to 4. There is a new sort
Really?
system. Instead of it just being one button that sorts it by PAL Dex number, now you can
It's actually
organize
funny.
by
Me
PAL
and
Dex number,
my
level,
partner decided
element,
to
find
go on
alpha,
our own
filter by
bases
element,
or
filter by work
teams
suitability, and
because
an
we
option
couldn't
to
make enough
prioritize
bases.
your
It was
favorites.
uneven.
I have seen the
So now both
filter
of us
by
are gonna make
element
4 of
and the
them.
filter by work suitability. Oh, on this new island, I found that there's actually a bunch of these skill fruit trees that are very easy for you to get a hold of.
Very
There's
GG
new
easy.
unique skills that are only assigned to one pal, such as Menacing gets a unique skill called Jumping Stinger, Chillit gets something Rocket Slam, Lylene gets Protection of Fertility, which actually heals you in battle, which is neat. Phalaris gets
Okay, I wasn't sure what they meant by
Flame Wave,
protection of
Grizzlebolt
fertility.
gets Thunderbolt Heavy Tank.
I was about to say
Orsurk
something
gets
very unhinged.
Polyceronos. I could not spell that. I could not pronounce that better if I tried. And Shadowpeak gets Divine Disaster 2.
In addition, there are 16 new moves that you're going to be finding skill fruit for, and you're also going to be having a bunch of new passive skills, including Philanthropist that greatly reduces time to produce eggs,
That's
Impatient,
dumb.
which reduces cooldown on active skills. That's dope.
That's all right.
Infinite Stamina for
That's
mountable
great.
pals so that your Jet Dragon can fly forever. Noble, so that pals with passives will give you an advantage when trading with merchants. That's neat. And Nocturnal, so that pal works at night. Awesome stuff here.
There's a variety
Wait,
of
wasn't
other
Nocturnal
new
something
items
that
you're
was
gonna be finding
already out?
along your way, such as new materials that are going to be dropping from enemy, new crafting items used to make carrying elixirs, and if you played the update that has the new raid boss with Bella Noir, you're also going to be experiencing
Oh, yeah, the raid
new
boss.
slabs, such as
I
Blaze Mahut
forgot.
Ryu
I've never
slab,
done the raid
which
boss
is a new boss
stuff.
that you can take on in
I
a
never
group.
bothered
I
building
have
a
not done
place
that yet.
to do
I
that.
think it's going to be hard. Okay, new
I think I'll do it for
additions to the
Sakurajima.
game. In the
Make a
desiccated
defense
desert,
like
we have
place.
a brand new area called the Arena, where you,
Oh.
while playing multiplayer, that is a requirement, can enter here and then face off against other people. So here is your PvP trainer battles.
Just laser
From the 5
rifle
pals
each
you
other
have,
down.
Choose one main pal to be your partner and 2 sub pals to participate in the battle.
Catch me at the
You can
arena.
win by defeating
Catch
your
me
opponent's
inside the
pal
arena.
tamer or all of your opponent's pals. Items used during battle and pals that have fallen will be restored to their original state after the battle.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
anything that happens to you or the pals
So you don't
or
have to
your
farm up, that's
consumables
nice.
while in the arena does not affect your single player / multiplayer progress, which is fantastic. Which that encourages you to really just go all out while you're in
Yeah,
there.
people
And I
wouldn't
think
go
that's
in
great.
otherwise.
Unfortunately,
'Cause they'll
I
be
did
like,
not have
"Eh,
the
I'm just gonna
opportunity
progress.
to link up with some
I
of
don't
the
want
other
to lose my
creators who
stuff
were
and then
trying
get
out
set back, right?
the experimental update, so I didn't get to Arena. But you will when the
Shame.
game updates, yay!
Waiting for
Speaking of new
opponent.
areas, there is another island. This is the oil rig. And oh boy, this is a stronghold
Oh boy,
and a
oh
half,
boy.
and it has giant laser
Oh my
beams
God.
that shoot you out of the sky
What?
and on the water once you approach. There are so many enemies. Poaching gang oil rig, for some reason all in lowercase. Honestly, when I came here, it felt very Metal Gear Solid-y.
It does look like that. Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you turn off your Ring of Mercy, otherwise, you can't defeat anyone. Everything is level 55 on that island. Make sure you come prepared. A few other things, the Lift Monk effigies, there is now 2 additional levels that you can level up your player for you to get higher
Nice.
catch rates. Back at the Forgotten Island Church ruins, this is the metal merchant, which once you acquire dog coin, you are going to be
Creepy
able
dude.
to come over here and speak with him and exchange the dog coin for various things, such
Oh.
as different hats for Kadava and Lamball and
That's
Cognito.
nice.
A mysterious accessory box, which increases your accessory slots by 1. Very nice thing.
The
A
undershirt's
multi-climate
cool, too.
undershirt that raises your heat and cold resistance by 1 each, which is amazing.
That's
and then
very
you're also
good.
going to be seeing down here a variety of different fruit that's actually going to be increasing a pal's trait values. that they have when they are caught. You are going to be able to see a wild pal's IVs, and you are going to be able to increase their IVs with these various fruits. There's also a variety of elixirs for
I'm not
going to
buy
take
those.
the player, which increases your
I don't think
stats.
they're worth it, to be
Before you
honest.
ask,
I feel like
do
that's the
not
last
know
thing.
If these individual fruits permanently change a pal's traits that is then passed down at the current rate of my previous testing. That is something we would have to test for much further down the line.
PalWorld also told me that because of all the new species that they added, the current breeding system, in order for you to get different versions of pals, is going to be different. So what you currently know of as you mate this with this to get this, that may be changed to some extent, to great extent.
I hope
do not
so.
know.
Now,
I want
after
it to
you
be
go
more
ahead and
randomized.
defeat one of the syndicate bosses in the game, you are going to be getting the option to go ahead and experience the battle in hard mode. As you're going to see right there, join boss battle hard. That goes for all of the
Well, not
previous
randomized,
syndicate
but I just want, like,
towers
more
and the new
options, you know?
syndicate tower as well. I have only two last things that I want to talk about for this update, and they're very rare events that I've played this update for, I'd say about 12, 13 hours or so. I've only experienced it. There's a new event that happens randomly. It's a sky-based event, and it can either be a supply
Like
drop
Fortnite sky-based?
or a meteor. And if it's a meteor, there's a rare pal that's going to be able to spawn from that. And supposedly there's two different pals. It's not a common thing. It actually happened the very second that I started playing the game, and I panicked and fat fingered, and then I knocked it out. Its name is Silene. I mean, I might as well show it to you because
that one
it's
that
the
was
new
in the like
boss,
thumbnail
so
for
you
the
are gonna be
official
seeing it one way
trailer.
or the other. Even though I am playing on a profile that's, for lack of a better term, a little dumbed down so you don't see anything too spoilery, I've never experienced number 112, so there you go. And the last thing that, you know, it's not
Maybe
nearly
it's a
as
sun
cool as
version of the moon.
two rare pals that only spawn a very small amount of time. But there is a new world event of a nest. Oh.
And
I
your
just heard a
game
sound.
crashed.
That was the
No?
sound. Yes. Okay. That's a meteor.
That's the sound of a meteor? They sound like bottle
Nope, it's a
rockets.
supply drop. Supply drop, not a meteor. Oh, and baddies are here. Forgot about that. Go ahead, loot everything from here, and be out.
Yeah, don't even fight.
That was my third ever supply drop. Only had one meteor. Very
Streamer
lastly,
luck.
there's a neat little world event that can sometimes happen. I've only seen it here in the desert, or maybe
Wait,
this
can
is
I?
the only
Can we
place
go
I've
to
ever
the
seen
tree
it.
yet? Was that a
Instead
thing?
of there being
Can we still go? Can we
pal
not go to
egg
the tree
out
yet?
in the wild,
I'm curious.
You're gonna see
I need
sort
to
of
know.
a makeshift nest, and you're gonna be seeing several of the different pal egg inside of that nest. By the way, the pal eggs you find out in the wild have a chance of having the new pals in there, so now you once again have an
that's
incentive
good
to
to
go
know.
around and get the various eggs all throughout the world. I have 2 wish list items for this game.
Yeah, is it the tree for
2
one?
things that I want more than anything else. One of them is going to be my progress in my game can go to another game. I want my character save information and my world information to be separated. That way I can join someone
sounds
else's
great,
world,
actually.
and we could do fun multiplayer
So it'd be
stuff.
like
Go,
an
can't go to the
MMO.
big tree. You could see it right there. You could see the coastline, but it's not ready yet. Can't go to the big tree. That way, the multiplayer arena has much more purpose when you're playing in multiplayer mode, and you don't have to do a dedicated server for
Yeah,
you to enjoy this
that
game
would
with
be
your friends.
really nice.
I want to
but
just,
I feel
with
like they would
my
have to
one
change
game
their
save data,
entirety.
go to someone else's world and experience the part of the game that I'm at. And yes, Bucky and the PalWorld team, I do understand that requires certain things from the world save information, like the Liftmonk effigies and the camp information, to then be transferred to the player, and I know that's gonna suck, but this has to be on the hit list of things to do in order for you to enjoy multiplayer in the game fully. And the second thing is, anytime that I'm
If
in my
this was
camp,
an
any
MMO,
single
that
place
would have
in my
hit
camp
very
that
hard.
I am, doesn't matter where, not in front of the PAL box,
MMO
cooking
sandbox,
things,
I should
whatever. As
say.
long as I'm within that radius, I want to hit the M button and be able to fast travel. That's it. I don't want to have to always go up to the PAL box and then choose fast travel. And hopefully,
True.
and what I'm just going to call the big old tree update whenever that happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully those
Where's
things
Gaia at, huh?
Well, there you go. That is
I was
the
really
bulk
hoping for Gaia.
of the update that I wanted to talk about. It's a lot of level 50 to 55 grind / exploration. If you're level 30 or 40 or something, then you have a bulkier amount of content going forward instead of it being so streamlined and grindy.
Whatever you do not start over.
You can just go ahead and experience this bit of new content here. The level
I don't
50
even remember
to 55
what level I am.
requires a lot of experience, and the Liftmonk effigies that you've already collected, now you have a purpose for them. The breeding that you've already been doing is now going to be streamlined. A lot of quality of life improvements that's going to make your experience a lot easier.
All right.
And then the last question that was asked several times is it worth starting over? And I would say you don't have to start over, because your first large chunk of the game, your first entire island is going to remain exactly the same. The free PAL Alliance Tower, I would say after completing this,
you know what I think? I think the reason why they gave you an extra base isn't because of people complaining, but rather because a new place was added.
Absolutely not. The early game has not changed.
That's what I believe.
You're not missing anything out there. Well, great.
Well, that
Guys,
was fun.
Hope you found this information helpful. If you did, share it with a friend.
Yeah. It was great. I hope you guys enjoy that. I don't know. With all the stuff that's going on, I like a lot of the what's it called? The aesthetics of the place, the new items that you can unlock. Some of the new pals, which doesn't really bother me as much. I don't really care too much about those. So basically for me, what would get me back into the game is the gear, the new exploring areas, and like probably like new building materials that you can have, right? Those are the things that would get me back into the game. I don't care too much about like the battles themselves, as well as the pals. I don't really care about catching them. For me, it's more like I want to progress to make a civilization for my pals and me. That's how I play PalWorld, by the way. I make a civilization, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys do in PalWorld? What is your goal? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time with maybe more PalWorld whenever the next update is. And maybe by then I'll try the Sakurajima update. Alright. See you guys later.